finally here, man. It seems like it's taking forever, but it's game week, and you got to be just excited about that and christen that thing.
Yeah, it's. I think our players are really excited. Been in there a couple of times already, and been able to practice and get a little game type atmosphere. And it's amazing how that stadium echoes when there's nobody in it. Just imagine when you put 8,000 people in there. But our players are saying that, and, so they're excited about the opportunity to go and break the stadium in. But they're more excited to go play. I think that they got a sour taste in their mouth left over from last year. The way it ended, where we thought we had a chance and should have won that game, and against Midwestern State, and didn't, and that's kind of been sitting with them for 8 months or so. So they want to get out there and they want to get the helmets on the stickers. They want to get all the new game shoes out and come down the ramp and tunnel and into that exciting atmosphere.
You talked about distraction. There's going to be a lot of distraction. How do you keep them focused on who they're playing?
The team is more mature than it has been.
Yeah.
They're growing a lot. They've learned a lot. But still, all you can do is warn them and educate them on the little things that are going to come up. And, I tell them about family. Everybody's going to want tickets. Get that taken care of early. Where they're staying. Girlfriends coming in town from out of town. And how are you going to handle that and make sure that you're not taken away from what is important for them right now. So we talk about it, educate them. We don't hide from anything. And, I think that they seem to be more focused and ready, and I don't think they're going to let it be distractions.
Home opener is always a pretty exciting sort of thing, but do you find that maybe this year, this third year, there's going to be a little more spring in everyone's step for this game in particular?
Well, I think it's because of the stadium is the number one thing. Mm-hmm. Because we're going to be on campus. We're actually not, for the first time since I've been here, not getting on a bus and going to play. And even though we were going 2 miles up the road, we still got on the bus, and it still has an effect on you, in my opinion. So I think to start the day off going through the tailgaters and the walk and what we plan on doing, that's what's going to be exciting, and get the players really understanding that this is a different type of a year and a different type of era starting right now. So I think that's the biggest thing. And they're going to be excited. I just got to keep that excitement down and make sure they focus.
What's been the atmosphere just around campus since school started for this team?
I bet I've answered the question, is the stadium going to be ready? If I had literally $1 for every time, I'd be a multi-billionaire because that's all that people ask. But I think the students, when they did a walkthrough in the stadium last week, you could tell they were excited. You could tell our fans, the Maroon Platoon, they were excited about where they're going to be sitting and how they're going to be. They got their own sign down there in the stadium, and so that was special to them. And the students, I went up in the control room during this thing, and students were actually running the video board and the ribbon boards, and I think that's the important part. It's the football team will play there at least 6 times this year, hopefully more, if we win and can get to the next round, as we say. But to see the students' excitement and the students being using the entire town of Canyon, every time I go out in Canyon, it's all about, we can't wait for that first game. We can't wait for that first game. How exciting it's going to be. And I just keep saying, if we can get off to a good start, hopefully it'll be more exciting the second time we play and the third time we play. And that's what we want to build here.
Week 1 is Azusa Pacific. Just kind of talk about the matchup specifically and what your team's going to have to do going into this game to get a win.
Well, I thought last year they got us because they ran the ball well. They had 235 yards rushing on us, averaged almost 5 yards a carry. And, that's what really got us. And, we turned the ball over. We made mistakes. Again, I think this is a more mature team that hopefully has outgrown those little mistakes. But we have stopped the run. They have 8 starters coming back on offense. 3 on the offensive line. Their quarterback comes back. They got a really good receiver coming back. So, our hands are full defensively. Now, on the other side of the ball, I believe they got 6 guys coming back on defense, and they've done a really good job of shutting us down and taking the run away from us and forcing us to throw the ball. And, and they have forced us into turnovers. So it hadn't been all our mistakes. Azusa Pacific is a very well-coached team. Coach Santa Cruz does a great job of getting them prepared to play, and I expect nothing but that come Saturday.
Are you expecting a little more maturity from your team against these guys as opposed to last year?
Absolutely. I mean, I go back to us having a 15-yard penalty on an interception return for a touchdown, and that's just the immaturity of your team. They got to understand the game and how those affect you. And I thought that was a huge turning point. So little bitty issues like jumping off sides and the mental errors, pre-snap penalties, they're going to come back and haunt you, and they've done that in this game for the last couple of years.
I think the most important question, who's your punter? You lost like the greatest punter in like the history of WT.
Aaron Coash will be starting the punter.
Yeah, you're not going to put Cummings in there in a new uniform?
I wish I could, but if I could find a way, because he was a weapon.
No, he really, I mean, God, yeah.
So we've had to make some adjustments with that, with our punt unit, and get it straight, and hopefully Aaron can come out and do what he's been doing in practice.
Yeah.
Depth chart comes out tomorrow, I believe.
Yes.
I suppose a lot of it's solidified, but what are some of the positions that are still up for grabs?
We're still debating center and right tackle. We're just looking at our best offensive line from that standpoint between three guys. So those are the only two really. The corner position is kind of still up in the air. We've been playing a safety there for a little bit to see how he would do. But I think everything else is pretty solidified. I will say this, because Kale's right here too. Our quarterback right now is we're probably going to start Nick Gerber. And depending on the situation that we come into, it could be Mitch Hood or Max Perez. I mean, every single quarterback does something better than the other two of those three. And it's just a situational type of thing where, I'll give you an example. Mitch, in my opinion, is more poised in the pocket and can stands in there tall and can see the field better. Nick can do a lot of things when the pocket breaks down and do things with his feet and run. Max is probably an energetic guy. He's a 250-pound quarterback who's going to run people over. So depending on where we are in the field, you could get, or the situation we're in, you get any of those three quarterbacks. I will say this. I would feel confident if any one of those three are in the game or started the game. So I like all three of them and what they bring to the table, and our players really respond to all three of them in the same way from their leadership abilities and how they handle themselves. And I think this is a good problem to have.
Well, Coach, you said, you feel confident with any three of the guys, any two of the are better than the other two. If it's a winner go home kind of situation, 4th and 1 from the goal line, 4th and 5, who are you putting in? Who's the guy that you're putting in that you can rely on that's going to be the number one?
I could put in any of those three. It just depends on the flow of the game and what's going on in the game, and how we have put ourselves in that situation. So I can't answer that question honestly, because I would make that decision when the time came.
Anything up through the spring and up to the first beginning of fall practice, which has separated Nick from the other guys, you'd say?
I'd say his handle on the offense. Max missed the spring, so he came in this fall. He's picked it up real well. But Nick's played more in this type of offense, and Mitch had to do a little bit of adjustment with quick releases and things like that. So I think that's the only thing that really stood by. And again, the fact that when we are getting pressured, we have a guy that can get us out of that situation.
Just kind of talk about Tobias Harris. How's he developed into a leader of this defense this year?
Tobias has taken it on and has accepted his role. And, I think when it comes to maturity-wise, that's a big thing in understanding everybody looks up to him. Everybody's going to count on him. He plays a lot of roles on this team, and he's going to have to continue to do that. I think one thing about Tobias is he still loves the game. He has not let anything get to his head. He loves playing football. It doesn't matter where it is, what surface we're playing on, home, away, asphalt, parking lot. He loves to play football. And I think that's the big thing about him. And he brings an enthusiasm and excitement, not only when he touches the ball, but when he's on the sideline, he gets guys ready to go.
It's been a while since Duke Carter's been on the field. Just kind of how has his excitement been out throughout the last couple of weeks?
Duke is he's about to burst because he can't wait to get out there and actually take another hit and play against another opponent and show what he can do. I think he's very excited. He's trimmed down a little bit, gotten a little more muscle, and got more explosiveness. So I'm excited to see Duke run. I know he's excited to get out there. And again, I tell Duke the same thing I tell everybody else: is just be who you are. Be Duke. Don't try to be anything other than Duke. Be who you are. Go play your game and see what happens.